Okay, so we literally just got the permit by calling in and like multiple times this morning and trying to contact this connection, and it just came, and the bridge closes at 2, so we're rushing, and the driver is going to be downstairs in a few minutes. We've literally gotten dressed, woken up the baby, packed ourselves, and we are on our way. Okay, so we are going to the bridge right now. This is how my starting hair is. Wait till we get wind going on. And we're in a taxi and a taxi van. And you know, a lot of people think, like, why is she not able to use the airport? Well, like I said, I married a Palestinian, and it changes your rights. So my husband and any Palestinian who's also American with a passport isn't an American. As soon as they land in Jordan and then entering into the West Bank through the Israeli-controlled border control, they are international crossing. It's not technically a border control. Their passport's useless. It is good for nothing. And then, like I said, also it was impossible. I don't want my baby's face in the frame. Sorry. It was impossible to register our kids. I was actually turned back at one point from going to the U.S. Embassy to register my first son's birth. And this is because we're not Americans with our American rights on our passport. We're Palestinians now with Palestinian rights, which means nothing. It means no rights. So, you know, he can't use the airport, but he also has to enter through this one crossing. And when I married him, that became basically me. I basically have the same rights level as him, but I'm not able to get a permit to go into Jerusalem or use the airport is basically the major difference. And it's just crazy. But of course, this is my choice to live here and be married to him. But it's not my choice to have an illegal Israeli occupation over our lives. Okay, deal with kick time. So this is the road leading up to the bridge. We're almost there. And basically it's to cross the River Jordan, which is really just a little trickle of a stream, and take us over to the side of the Jordan Valley that is Jericho. We are officially in the West Bank at that point, so we are on the Jordan side right now, driving up to the bridge. I sure hope my battery lasts. The baby broke my charger off inside the new phone, on the airplane in a moment of touching the phone, which she's not allowed to do. So, travel. All sorts of exceptions and challenges. So again, here is coming up on the Jordan Valley. You can see a bus sort of way up ahead that will have filled with passengers crossing. It's really a chaotic, awful experience, and for the first time ever, we're actually going to go VIP, which means we're going to pay $150 per person, including per child, to cross with ease in a nice air-conditioned car. And that's just because I'm alone and have both kids and too many bags. But a lot of people don't have that luxury to spend that kind of money. And like I said, we've never done it before, normally wouldn't, but it seems like a very good idea today. Those are the buses that we cross in usually. Sometimes in the summer it's so busy, there'll be like 7-8 buses lined up trying to enter on the Israeli side, just waiting to be processed. And there's no bathrooms, nothing. People come out of this experience with bladder infections and a lot of anger, because it is a very frustrating experience to go through. So this is the foreigner side, and it's relatively clean. I will not show you. We're not going to the Palestinian side today. This is VIP. We're not going to the Palestinian side today because I'm paying VIP, which means I'm going to have a really easy, great experience. The bridge, and if you're not quick, you'll miss it. And that's, I mean, there's literally like a stream under there for the Jordan River. And now we're on the Israeli side, and because we're VIP, we pass trucks and buses. It's literally a bus, and on it is going to be all full of Palestinians. That's normally the bus that we're on, and we just drive right around it. So there's one VIP car in front of us about to go ahead, and then it's us, and we pass the whole bus of people, which is just crazy that you can pay for your place. Okay, so we're sitting on the Israeli side of the bridge, and I'm in the VIP room, which is my first time ever being here. They made me espresso, and they have toy trees, fake trees, And real quick, I just want to say that I've been pulled aside because I have an American passport. I always get pulled aside for questioning. And she sat down and wants to question me, but this is a new approach to interrogation. I have a 4.5-year-old who's really talkative, who doesn't let her ask any questions and just tells her his whole life story about his toy remote control monster truck and his garden and his dog. And he just keeps talking, and she never got to ask me any questions. Okay, I'm through the Israeli side and I'm now driving out to the street. So this is still kind of the Israeli area. It's the street from the bridge, the terminal, I guess you could say, to where they do the car, well, I don't even know what you call it, like the entrance area. So we're driving up to the entrance exit area, and then we go across to Riha, Jericho. You can kind of see in the horizon at the base of that mountain, that's Jericho. That's where we're going next. It's the valley, yes. And we go to the Palestinian side, which is called the Istiraha, the rest area. And then we get in a taxi. So we have made it through, and actually I have phone calls from the office who issued me the permit, checking to make sure I got through. Crazy, you know, literally I asked for that permit, I applied for it on April 26th, I think, and today is June 22nd, and I only got it after 100 million emails and phone calls and begging acquaintances who have contacts there to put pressure on. And when they just called me now and said, okay, we want to make sure you're through, my comment to them was, there are many other spouses trying to get in to be reunified with their families inside the West Bank. Will you help them? So this is a systematic problem. This is not just, okay, Morgan succeeded and got her permit. There are other families. It is a Palestinian right to family reunification, and that is denied to Palestinians living in Jerusalem and the West Bank and throughout 48 Palestine, in Gaza. And the Israelis are responsible for that process, and they deny the Palestinians reunification with their families. So it means that we have to go through these crazy processes. Can you see that kind of chaos here? To try to travel, move, get registered, get visas, all these things. There's no clear procedures ever. It's really problematic, and there needs to be a system and clear steps that we take to do things like applying for our visas. It's always a guessing game. We ask each other as spouses, who has a visa? How did you get it? What are you supposed to do? What are the rules this time? It's always changing. It's very confusing. And this is one of the ways that the Israelis occupy Palestinians. They make it a bureaucratic hell for us, so that we are constantly trying to get permission to live in basic ways, like being with our families, accessing education, bringing in visiting professors. It's impossible under occupation, all of these things. Much less, you know, we're in the Jordan Valley right now, water rights. That's the Israeli entrance to the Israeli side of the bridge. And now we're going, you can see a sign right there, to Jericho, to the Palestinian Istiraha.
No, and this is not Jericho.
Yep, that's what the sign says. Jericho is right there. Riha. And so this is, I'm going to keep going, but this is just a really small peek at what it's like for me as an American, and I'm trying to show this video to other Americans to get a sense of what happens living under Israeli occupation and what it means for Palestinians to travel, you know, to go to study abroad, to visit family abroad. It's really a nightmare for everybody. And today I took the easy road, paying VIP a fortune to make this a really fast experience. Too hot, my son says, going outside. It's like 100 something degrees outside right now. It's crazy. So we are now at the Palestinian Istiraha, but we're at a place I've never been before. It's very nice because it's VIP. We're not going inside. I'm just staying in the car nursing the baby. And the guy took my passports in and is processing the kids. I don't have to come through here, but the kids do because they have Palestinian and American passports. From the time we land in Jordan, they're only Palestinian. So their American passports don't matter. We put them in the bottom of the suitcase at that point. So they have to come through here to be processed as Palestinians. And then we're gonna get in a taxi and drive home. So we'll keep this video going. But you know, we're having this conversation right now with the VIP driver about Palestinian rights and how this is insane that this is the way that we're forced to travel. All right, I'm in the taxi. You can see the yellow. And we're now finished with the Istiraha, the Palestinian side, and we're going to drive to Ramallah, which is home. I can't wait to take a shower, to see my husband after over a month of thank you.
I can't wait to see my dog.
He can't wait to see his dog. It's going to be great. We're so excited.
We're getting a new bunny, and someone's giving...
He's getting a bunny. Someone else is giving us a cat. We already have an urban farm in the middle of Ramallah, and we're just adding some animals to it, huh? Okay, so, yeah, there's the VIP car that's just dropped us off. We're in our taxi, and we're done. We're leaving. And it's amazing. And I just got a text message from the Israeli Coordination Office, the woman who's helped us today.
That race car?
Yeah, cool race car. And it's saying, I just want to make sure everything's okay. And you know, that's so nice. Thank you so much. And I write back to her saying, thank you for getting me my permit today and helping me through. And then you feel like, God, why do I have to thank them? You know, because this is actually not the way it should be. Occupations are meant to be temporary, not lasting since 1967. And it's insane that they control our border. Mama, let me just finish and I promise I'm almost done, okay? It's insane that they control our border. It's insane that they are not allowing the Palestinians to have family reunification and have their spouses, that we have to get a military issued permit. Or a state issued, an Israeli state issued permit. It's insane. It's insane that I have to thank them for facilitating a process that actually shouldn't exist. So it's also really, it's really upsetting to say thank you, and you like kind of want to kick yourself. But that is the system that exists right now. It's a very oppressive system. Yeah, you're like really over this trip and me being on this. Anyways, I hope that I've given people a little bit of a sense. I will do one last video from home. Thawani Habibi, please. I hope I've given people a little bit of a sense of what it's like for us to live in occupied Palestine in terms of the entering and exiting. The right to enter is a basic human right. It's an internationally enshrined right to be able to move, to cross borders freely. And, you know, for us, we don't even have control of our own border here. It's really infuriating and frustrating and disempowering. So we are, you know, glad to have been able to share a little bit of our journey. I'm sorry that most of it has been selfie style. Natty!
Naughty!
Yuck. That's one of the bad things about coming home. We're going to have cigarette smoke again in our lives, which means when you walk down the street. But it is what it is. So, okay, so I'm sorry that I haven't shown you more. I'll take some video going through Jericho now, and then I'll video once we're home, and then that'll kind of be it. It is 3:30 Palestine time, which I think is something like 8:30 a.m.
Police have guns.
Or 9:30 a.m. in New York. On Tuesday, we left Sunday night at 11 p.m.
No, today.
No, when we left from New York, when we said bye to, so.
Hi, Kimmy.
Yep.
How are you?
Hi, Natty. That's our friend and taxi driver, and we're really grateful to be in his car, and we're really grateful to have entered Palestine. So we left March 26th, and a lot of people are like, why would you have left if you knew it was going to be hard to get back in? Well, we've been trying since a year, and I feel like my parents should see their first granddaughter before she was a year old. And with Corona closing and opening our restaurant constantly, it was really financially and emotionally and physically exhausting. And it just seemed like it didn't make sense to not just go see our family when, you know, we're just sitting around having our business kind of broken throughout the last year. So, yeah, sorry that's so bumpy now.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Louise. So there's actually an article on NPR. You could Google like Palestinian American baby trying to travel to the U.S., something like that. And you could see the start of our story, which was written up there. And we finally got to go to the States. And it was awesome. And then coming home became this kind of nightmare. The thing is, I'm not the only foreign national spouse of a Palestinian who's stuck outside, or in our case, we were away from my husband. Other people, other women are without their children. Their children are inside and they can't access inside. So we really need to keep fighting for processes for Palestinians to be able to live. you know, because it's my husband is the one who applies. It's he as an occupied person goes through this process of trying to get his family reunified with him. It is his right to have his family. I have no right. I'm a tourist. I have no right to enter this country. I'm a tourist. They can tell me no. But my children have a right, and my husband has a right to me, you know, being there with him. And that is what's being violated. And that's what we should be fighting for, is Palestinian human rights in really basic ways, like somebody with cancer in Gaza being able to access medical care, or water for that matter, or, you know, traveling to go to university, or being able to run a business and export their goods. Like, these are really basic things that everybody gets to do in their countries. But here it's sort of, I like to say it's a puppet show. You know, at the bridge, the Israeli soldier who questioned me briefly said to me...
And police have guns.
Yeah, police have guns. Not nice. She said, so where do you live? You live in New York? And I was like, I live in Ramallah. I want to be very clear. I live in Ramallah. I was visiting the States. And, where was I going with that one? What did I say right before he told me that police had guns? I don't know. I'll come back to that later. We're exhausted. Maybe that's showing at this point. So, yeah.